Well, good day, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. This is Pastor Darron LaMonte, lead pastor of United Believers Community Church. Thank you for joining me in another virtual Bible lesson. Hey, I'm excited just to talk about Jesus. Listen, in this season, I simply believe people need to know that the name Jesus, they need to know the power of Jesus and the presence of Jesus and the potential that Jesus can catapult your life into areas that you have yet to explore in your journey, your spiritual journey. So, hey, I want to talk about today, what do you do on the worst day of your life? I want to share with you in crystal clarity from Jesus, someone who has been through what you're going through. I want to share with you his 7 shouts from the cross, the 7 cries from the cross. It was the worst day of Jesus' life when he hung on the cross between 2 thieves, gave up his life, and ascended into glory. I want to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, what that means to you today when you are going through the worst day of your life. This is a message of hope I want to give you. So would you call somebody, text somebody, tell them that the virtual Bible lesson with Pastor Darron LaMonte is going down right now. If you're ready for the word, type into the comments, I'm ready for the word. And so, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I know that I'm talking to somebody who's saying, man, I don't know if I've had a worse day. I've had a bad day. I've had a troubling day. I've had a difficult day. But let me tell you, brothers and sisters, live long enough, you'll have what's called the worst day of your life. That's the day when the problem cannot be solved, the prayer seems like it's not being answered, the argument will never end, the desire will never be fulfilled, the enemies have finally got the best of you, and everybody in town knows everything about you. It's the worst day of your life. Now, would you give me some emotion, some emotion, an emoji or something, a thumbs up or hearts, if I am already on your street bowling down your alley, if you have gone through something like that in your life? Listen, can you agree with me? That wasn't a bad day. That was the worst day. That wasn't a difficult day. That was the worst day. That was not a troubling day. That was the worst day. And so I want to help you how to navigate through when you see how Jesus navigated through the worst day of his life. Let's go. So in order for you to make it through the worst day of your life, you got to take the first step that Jesus took. You got to learn how to forgive. You got to forgive those who have hurt you. That's the first thing Jesus said from the cross. Father, forgive them, in Luke 23:34. Jesus did not curse out his crucifiers. He did not fight his fault finders. He did not pronounce malediction against those who wanted to put him on the crucifixion. He did not berate those who were continuously belittling him. Jesus forgave them. He said, Father, forgive them. Then the word forgive is the word give. And I tell people all the time, when you forgive somebody, you just give it. They didn't earn it. You just give it because you've learned that forgiving them, giving it to them, helps you in your journey with the Lord. And so somebody right now, if you're going to make it through the worst day of your life, you've got to learn how to forgive. You just give it to them. They will never earn it. They will never ascertain it. They'll never live up to the watermark you have so you can grant it. You have to just give it so you can live on with your life. Notice Jesus, that while they were doing it, nailing him to the cross, he was forgiving it. While they were nailing him, he was forgiving them. While they were talking about him, he was talking to God about them. He was forgiving them. And ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, if you're going to make it through the worst day of your life, you got to let it go. Can I get about 7 people to type into the comments, let it go? You got to let it go. You got to forgive if you're going to make it through the worst day of your life. Next slide. The second thing that you have to do is to change your thinking today. Change your thinking today. Do something about what you're feeling today, not tomorrow, today, not next week, today, not next month, today, not next year, today. You need to make a game plan for your life. When? Type it in the comments. When, y'all? Today. You need to have a vision for your future, not next year. When you need to get it started? Today. You need to see yourself beginning to do better. When, y'all? Today. You need to get yourself together. When? Today. That's what Jesus is saying. Today, you need to do something about your situation. In Luke 23:43, Jesus says, today, thou shalt be with me in paradise. Don't have time to dissect that in this time of virtual Bible lesson. Come onto the campus and hear me preach that sermon when you have an opportunity. But listen, here it is. Here it is. Jesus gives a challenge. Jesus gives a charge, and then Jesus makes a change. That's what happens on this second thing. So the first thing you got to do is forgive. The second thing you got to do is do something about it. When? When? Today. Let's go to shot number 3. In your pain, always remember your purpose. Now, I'm not trying to give a Tylenol to your trouble. Your pain is your pain. All I'm trying to get you to do is how do you make it through the worst day of your life? In your pain, you must remember your purpose. And that's what Jesus does. In John 19:26, it says, woman, behold thy son, and son, behold thy mother. Jesus remembers his purpose even in his pain. And church, can I just get somebody to shout back at your boy one time that not only did Jesus have pain, his mama had pain. His mama had pain by watching what was happening to her son on the cross. And somebody ought to type into the comments, ain't no pain like a mother's pain. But Jesus had pain. The pain of 39 lacerations across his back. The pain of 10-inch spikes that went through his wrist. The pain of a pierced side. The pain of hanging there for 3 hours. The pain he felt. And all I'm trying to get you to see, ladies and gentlemen, is that the pain he felt, he still remembered his purpose. And listen, all I'm trying to get somebody to understand that whatever pains Jesus ought to pain you. That's a good preaching point right there. Whatever pains Jesus ought to pain you, but remember your purpose. Jealousy pains Jesus, it ought to pain you. Envy pains Jesus, it ought to pain you. Unforgiveness pains Jesus, it ought to pain you. Unconfessed sin pains Jesus, and it ought to pain you. Resentment pains Jesus, and it ought to bring a pain to you. But in your pain, remember your purpose. His purpose was simple. In Luke chapter 19, verse 10, he said, the Son of Man has come to seek and to save those who are lost. In your pain, remember your purpose. Did you get that? So number 1, give forgiveness. Number 2, do something about it today. Number 3, in your pain, remember your purpose. Number 4, change the way you've been talking. Change the way you've been talking. In Mark chapter 15, verse 34, that's what Jesus did. Oh, he said, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. It's interesting to me that the Bible is in English up until this point. All the words are in English. But this, they left it in its original language. It's interesting to me. They didn't try to translate that to English. They left it alone in its original language. You know what I'm trying to tell you? Jesus changed the way he was talking. Everything is in English to this point. It changed the way he was talking. Even in the apex of his agony, the pinnacle of his pain, the depth of his darkness, church. Let me tell you something. Here it is. You will change the way you talk when it gets dark enough in your life. You will change the way you talk. Child of God, then maybe that's why some of you said at the beginning, you haven't gone through your worst day. On your worst day, you will change the way you've been talking. Now, are you hearing me? And that's all I want to leave you with today. You got to come to hear the sermon to get the crust of everything I'm going to say in that particular portion of it. But this is virtual Bible lesson, so I want to hit the highlights of what I want to share with you. So did you get that one? That's the fourth principle. The fourth principle is to change the way you've been talking. Principle number 5. Here we go. Principle number 5 is to remember this. You're human. Is to remember this. You're human. And remember, it's okay not to be okay. But it's not okay to stay not okay. Let me say it again. It's okay not to be okay. But it's not okay to stay not okay. It's okay to be human. That's what we find in John chapter 19, verse 28. On your worst day of your life, listen, don't be too hard on yourself. It's okay to be human. Jesus gave a human announcement. I thirst. Some theologians question that. How could he who was called living water say, I thirst? Who is he who said, I am the reservoir of water? Shout out, I thirst. Yes, child of God. We find Jesus weary. That's a human reaction. Hungry, human reaction. Sleepy, human reaction. Happy, human reaction. And guess what? In this text, he's thirsty. All I'm trying to get you to see is okay to be human. I know people want you to be impenetrable and indestructible and invincible and rough and tough, a baller and a gangster. But child of God, all I'm trying to get you to understand, stop trying to mask your misery or try to mask it with morphine or cover it up with codeine or dope it up with dopamine. It's okay to be human. In fact, shout 1, 2, and 3 is relationship pain. Shout 4 is emotional pain. And this shout of 5 from the cross is physical pain. Jesus is expressing, I'm hurting physically. I'm hurting emotionally in shout 4. I'm hurting because of my relationship versus shouts 1, 2, and 3. And is that anybody right now? Would you be vulnerable and transparent? Where are you hurting in your life right now? It's okay to be human. That doesn't mean you're less of a Christian or that you don't have on the full armor of God. It's okay to be human. Jesus was going through relationship pain up to this point. He was going through emotional pain up to this point. He was going through now physical pain at the fifth shout up to this point. But he made it through it, and I'm going to show you how to make it through it. You ready? Let's go. You make it through it when you give it to God. That's what Jesus did. Whew. Boy, if it was a Sunday morning crowd, I would have my shout right there. That's how you make it through the worst day of your life. You got to give that thing to God. That thing that's pressuring you, that thing that's paining you, that thing that's picking at you and picking on you. You got to give it to God. And that's what he says in John chapter 19, verse 30. Jesus says, it's finished. Notice he did not say, I am finished. But others, he said, it is finished. I love that about Jesus. He decides, I'm done with this. He says, I'm done with this. I'm giving it to God. I'm done with this. Jesus, God, I've done all that you've asked me to do. I'm done with this. In fact, can I just tell y'all, that's why I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian because if I was a Mormon, there would be more for me to do. If I was a Buddhist, there would be more for me to do. If I was Islam, there would be more for me to do. If I was a Scientologist, there's more for me to do. And though I'm a Christian, there is more for me to do. But in my salvation and getting to heaven, it's already done. Why? because I surrendered my life to him. I've given it to God. And somebody watching me right now, that's exactly what you need to do. You need to give it to God. So one more, if you're going to make it through the worst day of your life, trust God to see you through. That's what he says in Luke 23:46. You got to trust God to see you through. Listen, these minutes or seconds turn to minutes. These minutes have turned to hours. You keep going, the day is going to be done. But before the day is done, trust God to see you through. Jesus did that. He said, Father, into thine hands I commit my spirit. It's interesting to me how Jesus started this day. He started this day with, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do. He ends it with, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. He started with Father. He ends the day with Father, which tells me, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to make it through the worst day in your life, you need the Father God at the beginning and sure enough at the end of your day. You got to have him, trust God to see you through. And so in the last few moments of this virtual lesson, have I got some people watching right now who can say, Pastor Edwards, that's what I need to do. I need to trust God to see me through. Growing up, little boy, I used to hear them sing that song that said, I trust in God. I know he cares for me. On mountain bleak or on the stormy sea, though billows roll, he keeps my soul. My heavenly Father watches over me. And so as I close, if you're going to make it through the worst day of your life, I go to the beginning. Step one, Father, forgive them. All I can tell you, there's forgiveness at the cross. Today you'll be with me in paradise. All I can tell you, there's salvation at the cross. When he said, woman, behold thy son, there is love at the cross. When he said, I thirst, there's understanding at the cross. When he said, it is finished, there is victory at the cross. When he said, Father, I commit my spirit, there is trust at the cross. And all I'm trying to get you to see is on the worst day of your life, you better look at what God has sent it into your life. Forgiveness, salvation, love, understanding, victory, and trust. When you're a Christian, you get all of that at the cross. At the cross, at the cross, where I first saw the light. And the burdens of my heart rolled away. It was there by faith. I received my sight. And now, I trust God to see me through. I'm happy all the day. Hey, if Jesus can make it through the worst day of his life, the Jesus in you will help you make it through the worst day of your life. It's been your friends, been your big brothers, been your uncles, been your pastors, been your boy. I want to just encourage you. I've had these days, and I've had to apply these principles. So would you do me a favor? Would you share this video on your page? Share it. I know it blessed you because it blessed me teaching it to you, and I'm going to preach it as well, because I need people to understand that you can make through the worst day of your life. We can cripple all of the devices of the enemy, suicide, mental illness, if we would just apply these principles to the dark night of the soul, the worst day of our life. Hey, it's been Pastor Edwards in your virtual Bible lesson. I pray you've been blessed. Until next time, peace.